What's going on, everyone? John the Bettist here for a post All-Star break edition of Blessed Bets. Three things to look for on the slate for February 19th. This time, I have slightly better production value, I think. Look at my beautiful little background there. Why is there a 23 in the background? Well, I'm John the Bettist. Instead of the Jordan River, let's call this the Michael Jordan River. Okay, let's get to the analysis. You don't want to hear more bad Bible jokes from me, but I'm sure I could come up with a bunch of others. Anyway, so there's three spots that I really want to talk about and focus on for this slate coming out of the All-Star break. We got 10 games on Thursday. Let's get started with my 76ers, who I am betting to lose this game, or at least to not cover the spread. We're taking the Atlanta Hawks plus 2.5 against the 76ers in a game where I have the Hawks as 1 point favorites. I'd rather just take the points at minus 110 and just be happy with that. The Sixers are also just known for not being able to blow out teams. So, even if they do win, I think it will be very, very, very close. But fact of the matter is, Joel Embiid is out for the game. Paul George also out for the game. So you're missing those two big pieces. The Sixers are also just weirdly not as good at home as they are on the road. So that's something here. But this is really about the Atlanta Hawks, who are really the specific type of team that the Sixers struggle with mightily. It's a team that passes the ball better than almost anybody in the league. They have the second highest percentage of baskets made off of assists in the NBA, where the Sixers give up the third most assisted baskets in the NBA. So this is a really good spot. I mean, it's literally made for the Sixers to screw themselves. Um, the other thing to note about the Sixers themselves is they are 21st in the league in corner three shots attempted against. And the Hawks have a little guy named Nikhil Alexander Walker who he likes to shoot corner threes. He likes to shoot really any kind of threes, but he's 81st percentile in the league in corner threes taken. And look at that. 92.7% of the three-pointers he's made this year are assisted. He takes a lot of threes. So think about that from a passing perspective. Their offense, they're trying to get him open through some, catch and shoot opportunities. So he is somebody that we're gonna want to target. Right now, the 3 point angle for him, I don't know if I'm gonna actually go through and bet it right now. You're gonna get it's juiced to hell. Yeah, 2.5. 3.5 might be a play. I'm gonna kind of wait and see if I could get a number that I really like before the night ends. But a couple other guys in that game I'm also kind of looking at. So Jalen Johnson quite literally does not take corner threes. So from that perspective, it's not an auto play, but something to keep an eye on. His 3 point shooting volume seems to be trending up a little bit, and 80% of his three pointers made are off assists. Corey Kispert is another guy that I'm really looking at from the Hawks, possibly betting his 3 point prop right now. It's minus 116 on DraftKings is the best number. You're going to be listening to this, later, probably on Thursday. So just make sure that you're checking for the best price in the market. But Kispert, 96% of the threes that he's hit in the 16 games he's played for the Hawks have been assisted. So another guy, another situation that I think is interesting. Right now, Nikhil Alexander Walker, his assist prop is at 3.5. It's juiced to the over minus 128, I believe was the best line at FanDuel. If I can get that closer to minus 120, even like minus 115, somewhere in that range, I'll probably play that. So make sure you are subscribed to me for free on Tails. And I probably am going to have a really big announcement coming by Friday night's video. So keep an eye out for that. You'll also hear this big announcement if it comes to fruition on my Tails feed regularly. So make sure you're on high alert and you're paying attention to that. So now let's move on to the second thing I want to look at right now, and it's the Knicks and the Pistons. So the Pistons go to New York to face the Knicks, and the Pistons are a trouble matchup for the Knicks generally, but there's two very big pieces missing from the Pistons in this game, and it's Duran and that's beef stew. And without that, that means Paul Reed is going to get the bulk of the minutes at center. Listen, again, Sixers fan. I love B-ball Paul. He's literally named for the sport he plays. That's pretty awesome. And truth be told, I mean, he's having the best season of his career. He has a 2.7 defensive EPM. That's 99th percentile. Like these are some really, really impressive numbers that Paul Reed is putting together this season. But at the end of the day, Paul Reed, and he has some really good rebounding numbers. He's 95th percentile in offensive rebounding. He's 86th percentile in defensive rebounding. But still, for some reason, I don't feel super confident with him on the boards. It's kind of the same thing that I saw kind of with him in his time with the Sixers. And now he's taking on Mitchell Robinson and Karl Anthony Towns, two of the best rebounders in the NBA. It's going to be a tougher matchup for him. I'm thinking about wagering Paul Reed under 8.5 rebounds. Haven't bet it yet. If you're following me on Tails, you'll be the first to know if I do end up pushing play on that. But there is something that I am betting from that. And talking about Mitchell Robinson, I'm going to go with his points plus rebound stat. It's at 11.5 right now. I just bet it minus 108 on FanDuel. I have him projected for 14 PR for this game. Paul Reed, again, look great. The numbers, the advanced analytics back it up that he's having a really great year. At the end of the day, he's 6'9", 210. Mitch Robb and Karl Anthony Towns are going to stuff him. And then in the minutes that he's not playing, Paulu Smith, really? Are we really worried about this guy? Especially if Mitch Robb is getting a decent chunk of his minutes against him. I think that Mitch Robb has double-digit rebounding upside in this game. So if he just, handles himself a little bit offensively, I think that we're going to sit pretty on this prop. So that's another one I really like. There's a couple other things that I'm looking at in this game too. Duncan Robinson, three-pointers is something that I'm interested in. The Knicks give up a ton of three-point looks. I believe they've given up the fifth most attempted three-pointers in the league so far this year. So that's something to keep an eye on as well. Make sure, again, you're following me on Tails, and you'll be able to get this information before anybody else does. And then lastly, this game, I don't have anything actionable yet because lines are still coming out. We just got the injury report about like 20 minutes ago. It's the Boston Celtics at the Golden State Warriors. And the Celtics, I've talked about in the last video with Anthony Simons going up against them, which he absolutely sucked in that game. He shot 1 for 6 from three in the first half and then didn't attempt another three the rest of the game because he sucks at the game of basketball. Maybe not life. Maybe that would be harsh for me to say that, but in the moment, I felt that way. But I am always looking to target guys who shoot a lot of above the break threes against the Boston Celtics. The Celtics give up the third highest percentage of three-pointers taken against in the league. Of the three-pointers they give up, 70% of them are above the break threes. That's the most in the NBA. So when you look at this team, a guy, ironically, that I really want to target is Al Horford in this matchup against the Boston Celtics. 40%, 47% of his shot profile this year have been above the break threes. Like he's shooting over 60% just total of his shots are three pointers, and the Warriors take more threes than anybody else in the league. Steph Curry's not in this game, so that's something. There's no Al Horford props out though. That's the thing that's killing me. If I find this 1.5 plus money, I'm not even thinking about it. Without conscience, I'm just hammering this. This is going to be a really good spot for him. The thing that makes it a little bit murky, though, is Kristaps Porzingis. Ironically, another former Celtic. He might be making his Warriors debut in this game, and he shoots 30% of his shots have been above the break threes this year at a 77th percentile. Right now, his 3-point prop opened at 1.5 for like plus 128 or something like that on DraftKings. I might play that. Worst case scenario, he doesn't play, it gets voided. But I do expect if he does play, he's going to play 20 minutes. He's going to get some shot attempts. I mean, you trade for Kristaps Porzingis, especially when you don't have Steph Curry in the matchup, to shoot threes. He's going to want to do that. Two other guys that are interesting but scary. Quinton Post, not bettable if Porzingis plays. Hell, might not be bettable either way, but he's 88th percentile and above the break threes. So is Draymond Green, ironically. So those could be plays potentially to look into, but I'm way more interested in Horford Porzingis to see what's going to happen there. So keep an eye on that. But that about wraps it up for me on this edition of Blessed Bets. And let me know what you think in the comments. Let me know what you think as I post picks throughout the day on Tails. And like I said, big announcement, hopefully coming tomorrow night on tomorrow night's video. You don't want to miss it. And until next time, see you later.